Mike, the CEO of Batch here at the Arival show in San Diego, meeting a bunch of really cool tour operators and tech platforms that kind of sit in the middle of that ecosystem. And Batch is really cool. They're a new OTA, and for those that aren't into the lingo, that's an online travel agency focused on the bachelorette and bachelor party crowd. So Mike, thanks so much for coming on the show, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So Mike, I gave a little bit of an interview, or a little bit of a prelude, but yeah, tell us more about yourself. Tell us about Batch. Why did you decide to start this company? What was the gap in the marketplace that you saw?
Sure. Mike Petrakis, started Batch actually in January of 2020, so right before COVID.
Great
Batch,
timing.
Yeah, Batch is a, you telling me, man. Batch is a party planning app, so we help people have a great time. They use our app to plan a trip. You can invite your friends, chat with them to figure out what you want to do, put an itinerary together, and then split up expenses. And then we actually layered in a marketplace, which just all that means for non-travel people is just like a way to book really fun stuff with your friends. So the marketplace is in 30 cities at this point.
Wow.
You could do stuff like hibachi chefs, party boats, party buses. We really cater and focus on just like providing a good time to people. So no walk tours, no museum stuff. We're just like people just focused on partying and having a great time.
I love it. So Arival, first one, second one?
First one.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
So what brought you out to San Diego for the Arival show? What were you hoping to learn? What were you hoping to accomplish?
Well, they're dumb enough to have me speak tomorrow on the Shark Tank pitch.
Let's go.
So probably that.
Yep. That
was the thing that led me. Some of our key partners are here. So a lot of party buses, party bike guys, boat tours, party boats. Those guys are all here. So we're actually throwing a hibachi chef dinner tonight for a couple of our key partners. So I figured between those two things, maybe I'll learn a thing or two. But that was good enough reason to come out west.
I love it. So was there a piece of content that you were most excited to see that hasn't come up yet in the programming?
I'm going to talk a lot about UGC tomorrow. Nice. I think the future of how people search for travel is not going to be on Google. It's clearly on TikTok and Instagram. So Batch is really focused on, we've had 700,000 parties since we launched the app.
Wow.
Every weekend in Nashville in the summertime, we see 2,000 or 3,000 parties that go on a trip. So the idea is those parties send us in content. We can use that content to just broadcast on our channels to tell you the fun stuff to do and what people are up to every single weekend. So I think it's really, if you're an OTA like us, you have to stay fresh and relevant, and getting a ton of content is the key to doing that.
I love that. Is there a piece of content that you've already seen so far at the Arival show that struck a nerve with you? Somebody that you really appreciated their talk or keynote or presentation?
I've talked to the other OTA guys, and I've learned a lot about Viator and Get Your Guide. And I'll shout out one of the guys I'm on the Shark Tank pitch with tomorrow. There's an OTA that covers the Southeast that focuses like on doing, offering boat experiences to the Southeast really well. And I thought it was interesting how a lot of these guys get into it to own an audience and focus on that, and then build tools like B2B solutions to cater towards that audience too. So.
I love it. So tell me a little bit more about Batch's marketing strategy. Obviously, you have to tag people right at that moment of engagement, post-engagement planning, right, between engagement announcement and wedding date. Back in the day, Facebook had some pretty cool tools where you could target brides-to-be, you could target people that were in that kind of
They made it easy.
They made it easy back in the day. So
now no one uses Facebook, so yeah.
So what are some of the tactics that you do to get in front of your target audience at the right moment and the right time?
Yeah, so first off, parties download our app 6 months in advance of going on their trip, and they start booking 3 months in advance of their trip. So we actually gather a lot of data to figure out when people, like what people might want to do and what are the touch points where they're going to make decisions about what they want to, what they're booking, where they're staying, when they're booking their flights, all that stuff. So for us, it's just a matter of staying relevant. As I said, like UGC is how we stay in front of the customer, because if we're getting people sending us in stuff about the fun time that they had with the private chef, on a weekend or the party boat that they were on, all we need to do is stay on top of mind on people.
I love that. So is there a special way that you incentivize your customers to give you UGC? Obviously people love to share their social moments and moments that they look awesome in, but is it very hard to convince them to give you rights and give you the ability to leverage some of that content for marketing, or people private? Like, what's the trade-off between folks that are willing to do it and that maybe need a little bit more cajoling?
You know, it's crazy. This is inside baseball, but like people were, we tried sending people $50, $100 Amazon gift cards to send us content. And then what we found was like when we just texted people SMS messages like right after their activity took place on the weekend, they would just send it for free.
Wow.
They'd be like, oh, we had an awesome time. But it was super fun. Here's us partying on it.
So good. So really it's a timing thing, and it's, you know, having that relationship with your customer, giving them a great experience, and knowing that moment that you can break through and get them to give you that content and rights, and really just make it almost part of the experience. You know, they're getting that little bit of like social promotion at the end of their event, and who doesn't like to be featured by a cool company, you know, when they just did something epic with their friends and family, right?
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you talked a lot about another trend, which we're starting to hear a bit in this conference, the idea that Instagram, specifically TikTok, is now a larger search engine than Google.
Yeah.
So people don't go to Google and type in things to do in San Diego. They go to Instagram or TikTok and they type in San Diego, then they click on Reels, and then they just thumb through and look for keywords.
Yeah.
So does that influence how you guys do you guys work with creators in addition to UGC, or is there like a split between creator influencer / UGC? I know it's all.
I mean, look, we want to make our own parties famous first.
There we go. Yeah,
you know, we want to put them on our channels as much as possible. But we do have a content creator network that are all of our vendors, the partners that we work with in our marketplace, they love, because they can just tap into a creator network to be like, hey, I'm in Nashville, I want more promotion. And we just can give them a list of creators that can go on their experiences and have fun with them.
Wow, so you're almost creating your own advertising network in a way to support your partner ecosystem.
That's what we are. We are, like, you can say the words like OTA, we're just marketing. We're marketing technology for small businesses.
Yeah, that's crazy. I love that idea.
Yeah.
So talking again a little bit more about the target audience, is it generally, my understanding is, I've never been a best man. Had some best men in my past Escalades. I got married pretty young, but is it generally the best man or the maid of honor who's kind of like the decision maker on bachelor parties? And is there a way to get in front of them as much as you get in front of like brides or the wedding party in general? Like, how do you really define that avatar that you're targeting, and how do you get in front of them? Yeah,
I would say. We started as a bachelorette app. We are now bachelorette parties, birthday parties, bachelor parties with like a pretty even split. We see divorce and anniversary and all sorts of
special occasions.
Yeah, I think we're just trying to be known as the place you go if you want to have a fun time.
Nice.
So I think it's less about. It used to be all about finding the maid of honor and getting them to plan the trip on batch. But the beauty of it is, no matter what, if you're going on a group trip, we are paying to acquire our lead user, the lead person downloading the app. And then they invite their friends for free.
So it's social sharing from that point forward.
Yeah, because they want people to help make decisions with them.
Yeah,
right?
They want it to be a consensus versus like a dictatorship.
Exactly. And it's great for the experienced partners because it's not just one person finding you on Google. Everybody is scrutinizing your experience. They're like, is this the right fit for the vibe that we're trying to do?
I love that. Did you have an experience in your own life as either an attendee of one of these events or a planner where you saw pain points and frictions and you're like, there's got to be a better mousetrap?
Surf trips.
Oh.
Yeah. Going to Costa Rica and finding it really impossible to figure out like where can I trust to eat or stay. And just like I wanted to just make a guide following that trip. And then I was like, well, bachelor parties. I went on a bachelor party gone wrong, shortly after that, where I was like, guys, could we have put a little thought? Because the thing is, people spend so much time and money going on these trips. You want to make sure it goes right.
Yeah. No, I love that. Any plans to revisit surfing? I'm a huge surf aficionado and always looking for surf tech to embolden my travels and trips.
I'll shout out one guy's coming to a dinner that we're hosting tonight that started thermal surf.
Oh, okay.
And I will shout out that company because I'm fascinated by it. I think it's so cool with the content and the guided trips that they offer.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting down to the end of 10 minutes. Why don't you tell me about what you're most excited about, the future of what you guys are working on? on at Batch. What's the next 6 months to a year look like for you guys?
Yeah, look, we want to provide good experience to the partners that we work with. We only win when they win, so we're trying to get those guys booked and help tell their story. What I'm really excited about is just like building a content production firm within Batch, as you said, like ad tech, marketing technology for these guys. Our job is to be the billboard for all the small businesses that we work with. So I am levering up our marketing, our account management, all of our support to make sure that we can tell their story.
Yeah, I love that, man. So where should people check you out if they want to check out Batch, and where should they look to connect with you personally?
Yep. So letsbatch.com, Batch as just in the App Store, just BATCH. My name's Mike Petrakis. You can find me on LinkedIn. Yeah, our handles are out there. I think at Batch and at Let's Batch.
All right, Mike. Thanks so much for coming on the show, and enjoy the rest of Arival here in San Diego.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thanks, bud.